So, my name is Young Yoon, and I'm a Caesarian, and my character is Marcus Antonius. Others, we should grant Julius Caesar a public funeral in the Roman Forum, because such action follows Roman tradition, preserves political stability, and properly recognizes the significance of Caesar's life and death. First, Caesar was not an ordinary citizen whose burial could remain private. As both general and statesman, he reshaped Rome through military success and civic reform. Suetonius records that Caesar initiated major public works like building temples, libraries, and large urban improvements intended to benefit the Roman people. Also, Caesar practiced clemency after the Civil War. Cicero states that he pardoned former enemies and restored them to political life rather than punishing them. Therefore, Caesar was a leader who attempted to reunify Rome after internal conflict. The circumstances of Caesar's death further demand public recognition. Plutarch states that Caesar was stabbed 23 times within the Senate itself. Because this act occurred at the political center of Rome, it cannot be treated as a private matter. Roman custom strongly supports this decision too. Polybius explains that distinguished Romans traditionally receive public funerals in which their achievements are recounted. Historical precedent confirms this practice too. Appian records that even Sulla received a grand public funeral, denying Caesar similar honors, but therefore break established tradition. Also, funeral is important to maintain order. Caesar commanded loyalty from soldiers, veterans, and citizens throughout Rome. Preventing public mourning risks unrest and deepens political division. A formal funeral allows grief to occur within lawful ceremony, reinforcing stability. Ultimately, this is a way to protect the republic itself. Granting Caesar a public funeral does not endorse every political decision he made. Instead, it affirms that Rome continues to honor service, uphold tradition, and respond to crisis through law rather than retaliation. By permitting public honors, the Senate preserves dignity and reinforces the authority of Rome custom. For these reasons, I, Marcus Antonius, support a public funeral for Julius Caesar in the Forum.
I can go next. I'm Renata Garcia, and my character is Marcus Tullius Cicero. And I think that Julius Caesar should not be given a public funeral because he has violated the Republican laws. And in 49 BCE, he crossed the Rubicon with his army, which is an illegal act under Roman law. This directly violated the law against treason, which prohibited a governor from bringing troops into Italy. And by doing this, he also declared war on the Senate and people of Rome. In 44 BCE, Caesar accepted the title dictator for life, so I do not think a public funeral would be right for him because a public funeral is normally an honor for those who preserved the republic and not those who dismantled it. And I think he should be treated as a condemned criminal because he waged civil war against Rome. And I also believe that no political ally of Caesar should give the ceremony. If any ceremony should be held, it should be without the public spectacle or political propaganda.
Okay, I'll go. My name is Madison Heeman, and I'm portraying Cleopatra. So I believe Julius Caesar's body should be treated properly and given a proper funeral. Julius Caesar was a great leader of Rome, and even though you may think that some of his political actions were unjust, you can't argue what he has done for Rome. Suetonius tells us of the many great things that Julius did. He tells us of the Temple of Mars that he erected, greater than any other, the great theater he also built, and libraries filled with Greek and Latin books. But not only of great buildings, but also of things related to law, the number of statutes and regulations he created. Plovius tells us that any illustrious man should have a funeral in the Forum, and I believe the same should be done for Caesar. His nephew Octavian should be the one to share his achievements, as he has no son, and he has named him his heir. Another show of his great character is his reluctance to be called king. Suetonius also tells us of an incident at Lupercalia of Caesar denying himself as king. When consul Marcus Antonius tried to repeatedly put a crown on his head and Caesar repeatedly rejected it. Eventually, he says for the crown to be given as an offering to the temple of Jupiter Optimus Maximus. This does not show his faithfulness to the people as a just ruler.
And now questions or
Yeah, so I can start with my question. So this is to the Republican. So if you
okay.
discard Caesar's body, won't the people of Rome be upset because he has done so many great things for the lowest of Roman citizens? Would that not cause outrage and contention in the Roman state?
I think the opposite because a lot of people didn't really um have a positive experience with him being as a dictator. And so I think since he was hated a lot, I don't think he should be given a public funeral. I can go next. Um, if Caesar was not seeking kingship, how do you justify his acceptance of the title dictator for the Caesarian?
So I can answer that then. Um, as Madison said, Caesar, like whenever people tried to call him king, he rejected and said like, "I'm no king, I'm Caesar." And also the position dictator was given by the Senate, not like himself. So he was like voted to be dictator, and so the position came through Roman political like institutions. So yeah. Also, I want to ask Republicans if Roman tradition gives public funerals to great leaders, like why should Caesar be treated differently?
I think he should be treated differently because he did a lot of illegal things during his life. That always, well, not always, but they mostly like violated a lot of laws. So I think that's why I would choose for him not to be treated as like a higher person. Okay, I think that's it.
Yeah.